All right. Hi, Ajay. How are you?
Hey Ragav, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm really good. So I just want to set the agenda for this call. This is going to be our first video on your YouTube channel, and we're going to basically talk about introducing the community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, like what our plans are. I mean, I think we should start with like who we each are. We'll give us a self-introduction, and then we'll proceed to talking about how we met, and then how we started this community, and from there we'll take on um, like what do we have in plan, like what do we have in mind to extend this community and take it forward from there. So maybe you can start with your introduction, just tell us
All right.
who you are.
All right. Yeah. So first of all, just to introduce that, this is the startup club, which we will talk about briefly, as we discuss forward. So myself, my name is Ajay Kumar, and so I've been into the work as a working professional for almost a decade now, and I've also been into entrepreneurship for last 2 years now. So I've tried a couple of things, and few things worked, few things didn't work. But it's been an incredible journey in terms of learning and experience. So briefly, that I am originally from Chennai, but currently based out of Bangalore. So that's about me. Then yeah, over to you, Raghav.
All right, so I'm Raghav. I based in Chennai as well. I'm born and raised here. I have a background in neuroscience. I studied in the US for some time, but then I came back and I went into a, it's sort of like an exploration on how to improve myself in a lot of ways. And then eventually I started my nonprofit. Um, I'm 33 right now, and I work as a product analyst. But on the side, I do my main things. Like, it's called side things, but I would say that's my main thing. I do what I do for a living, but my main thing is my startup, my nonprofit startup, and then I have a couple of other projects that are going on.
Mhm.
And then this startup club is something that we recently got into, um, and that's something that's what this video is about, basically.
Yeah. So
So
I
maybe we
think,
can,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So Raghav, I think that the incidents of how we met, and how we came up with the
Yeah,
startup club idea itself is, is something that is nice to discuss. So why don't
yeah,
you throw some light on how we met, so our viewers will also know how we met and how we actually came up with the startup idea, the startup club
yeah,
idea.
like, yeah. So this whole thing started off with like, I wanted to start socializing and networking better because I felt like I was not really doing much in that regard. And what ended up happening was I went and looked up some meetups, and then we found this like start. I mean, we did with this independently. At this point, we didn't really meet each other. It was through that group we found like a group on Meetup, which was startup and entrepreneurship oriented, and I got into a call like we had to pay to attend the meeting, and then that's when we first met each other. We were in this call together, and there was nobody doing anything, and we were just like sitting around waiting for something to happen. And then we both kind of took the lead and started taking the conversation ahead, and things started happening. And honestly, it was not a great experience off the bat. We only got the most out of it because we took some initiative and started taking things forward.
Mm.
Um, and that's when I think we had a really good chemistry right at that. Then that was the first our first encounter. We had a good chemistry, and we had some initiative in that call. There were like some five other people, and then we were taking things forward. Um, and soon afterwards, we gave a feedback to the person organizing that thing, and then we got kicked out of it for
Mm.
it. And that kind of made us want to do something. And we started talking about it, and then we didn't really take any action on top of it. But then again, we reunited, and then we sort of like started doing this thing, and we started finding a name for our club thing. And I think that was like a not a very pleasant encounter, whatever that happened in that thing. But then a really nice thing happened out of it, which was that we got the incentive to start something new and then take it to new heights, do something really productive with it. So yeah, I think that sums up my perspective of that experience. If you want to add something to it, we can.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So first of all, for people who are viewing this video, one thing
Mhm.
that we want to give a background is there is a platform called Meetup, right? So which is basically allows you to create your own communities and you can host events. So that is something that I've been also personally doing, and now Rahav and we have collaborated to create Startup Club. So basically, you can go and check out the Meetup app. There's a web application, and also you get a mobile app which you can download. And so it's not just for startup entrepreneurs. It's for business owners, it's for students, or it's for working professionals. I'm talking about the Meetup platform, right? So anybody who wants to engage with other people from similar interests, you can go there, connect with other people, network, and all of that. So that's what the Meetup platform is all about, right? So we've been doing this, recently in the Meetup platform. So we started our own, networking, or the group, basically the Startup Club, and we host regular events in this platform. And we've just started, and we've seen, like, there's been good positive response, and people are actually feeling very positive about the initiative, because everybody wants, in some some or the other part of their journey. Definitely, people want some sort of an handholding, and always, I think, personally, for me, I also believe that if there is somebody to share with, discuss ideas, brainstorm, and some sort of a guidance that comes to us, it always adds to our confidence, right? And we can also retrospect on what we are thinking and how we are thinking. Maybe there's some other person who's also interested in the same subject matter, or he's an expert in the subject matter. Probably we could discuss with them. So I think today
Yeah.
the world of internet has opened up, crazy amount of opportunities for people, for enthusiasts in terms of entrepreneurs or existing business owners, or for any freelancers, or for any person who's trying to grow, personally or professionally. I think the world has opened up crazy amount of opportunities for us, and it's great that we are trying to leverage on such tech platforms today.
Yeah, and one of the primary incentives for me to like look into this kind of a community building and all these things is like I feel like people are doing really cool things around our country, and they're doing it in the dark, like kind of like by themselves. And I feel like we could do a lot more if we collaborate, and if we all bring these people together, and at least just to share their ideas, their stories, um, even if they're not really doing like a lot of big things. Like when somebody achieves a certain level of status, then they get heard. But I
Mm,
think even at a very very basic level, where even on us, like we are doing some things, small projects ourselves, and even at this stage, I think that it's really valuable for us to have a platform to go and speak and be heard, and for us to be able to hear other people at the same level talking about their initiatives and sharing some of our challenges at this stage. I think it makes for a really conducive environment for these different startups to leverage and grow faster. This can be like a catalyst.
mm.
What they could be achieving in like maybe 2 years, they could achieve it in like maybe 1 year if they have the right amount of right contacts or right people to help along with that. So, and I also find the idea really exciting. Like, for example, talking to different people with different ideas. Because one of the reasons why we're making this video is for our YouTube channel. And the main idea for the YouTube channel is for us to host interviews and people with different ideas to come on the platform and talk to us, and for us to be able to like question them and ask them about their particular field. Um, get to really know how their mind works, what their origin story was, and what they're trying to achieve. And I think with that kind of interactions on a personal level, I feel like that could really help me grow as a person. But also it can help all the people in the audience who are also listening to us and listening to these people talk. It could really enrich their perspective on things, introduce them to new things, new problems. Actually, one of the things is that in the other group that we initially met, there was a Telegram group, and there were all these different people, and I posted my idea, and people started talking to me, and I started talking to them. I called them up to like have conversations, and everybody that I talked to had a really cool idea going on for them, and they were doing something really really interesting, and like things that I did not really realize was an industry. I learned through the conversations with them,
Right.
and it really made me think, okay, we need to really like leverage this. Like we need to like make this more available for more people so that they can hear ideas that are being worked on at a really early stage. Maybe they won't really work out, they won't really take it through the top so that everybody gets to know about it, but still these are interesting ideas to explore, and I'm pretty sure that even they would appreciate having um, having a voice at the level that they're in, so that they can get the kind of support that they need at that stage. So all these things like really prompted me to be more active with this. And I mean, like we said, we're both working professionals and we have other things going on, so don't really have a lot of time. But we're doing this on a weekend basis, just when we have the time to actually go and do something that is, honestly, this is like relaxing for me. I'm not really stressed out. I'm not really trying to achieve something through this. I'm just like experiment at this point.
Mm.
Let's see where this takes us.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's sort of
I
the,
love,
yeah.
yeah, so absolutely. I mean, I agree to you that it's a really good opportunity for people to connect and discuss ideas, learn from each other. So I'll tell you what inspired me to collaborate with you on this particular the startup club idea, right? So personally, what I've been like, I come from a very humble middle class background. And if you talk about the educational background, so what we learn from school or if any institution for that matter, we don't really have the education on business, right? Education on startups, how to run a
Yeah.
business, how to come up with new ideas, how to execute this. So this is not covered in the traditional education system, right? So
Mhm.
having come from a middle class family, again I kind of started getting into the loop of the regular cycle, the middle class
Yeah.
cycle, which is like you go to work, make earn money, and which is neck to neck for you to meet your commitments, try to
Yeah.
make ends meet, and then you are stuck for your entire life in that particular phase. Now when
Yeah.
I started exploring, okay, how do I actually move out from this, how do I grow myself personally in terms of whatever my learnings are, in terms of my personality, in terms of my communication skills, and in terms of my skills, overall. So there I was struggling because I did a lot of mistakes.
Mhm.
And if I think about it, I did not get the right guidance, right? And I've also tried. I keep thinking in terms of, okay, what are the different business ideas, startup ideas that can come with, and generally this does not progress to next level. It's because I did not have peers with whom I can discuss with,
Yeah.
right? Because when you're in such a environment where a lot of other people are also still working, right, and their mindset is also focused only towards work, they are not trying to
Yeah.
think out of the box. They're not trying to even
Yeah.
give a thought about anything else, right? Because they're stuck in that loop. So I was also
Yeah.
kind of feeling stuck there, and I wanted to move out of that cycle. And then I started thinking how I should take this forward. And I did a
Right.
crazy a lot of mistakes in terms of trying entrepreneurship ideas. I tried earlier one entrepreneurship idea, but I failed terribly.
Mhm.
Because even at the very basic level, in terms of planning, in terms of how you manage things, I had no clue, and
Yeah.
that became to be an expensive loss for me, right? Expensive learning, I would say, for me. Now, thinking about that, I think a platform like this where people come and talk, discuss, maybe if you're somebody who's already running entrepreneurship, you're already running a business, right? You're already having a
Mhm.
startup. So learning from guys like you, or bringing other more experts from different niches together, and basically they share some insight. I can also clarify my doubts. So I thought, okay, now that is a problem which I had, and I know for a fact that a lot of people who also face a similar problem. So that
Yeah.
provoked me actually to come up with some idea like this, and I think the initiative is really interesting, and I'm looking forward that
Yeah.
this will grow as a bigger mission for the entire as a team, as a community.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think if we do this right, if we keep at it consistently, and if we spend enough time over a certain long period of time, I think that we can actually turn this into a community that's not just like, it's not going to run purely on our efforts as individuals. So it's going to involve other people, and other people are going to volunteer with us, work with us, and we can actually take this forward. And honestly, I'm really excited to help other people because like, there's certain satisfaction that you get from helping others, even if it's simply from asking the right questions and helping them think about the problem in a different way. Even little things like that really can make a difference depending on the context. So, I mean, I'm not an expert on a lot of things, and neither is anyone. Like, nobody is like an expert on everything. We know a few things, and other people know other few things. So it really makes sense for us to come together and crowdsource our insights and use it in a collaborative fashion, right? So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward to like bringing out different voices in the community,
Hmm.
different stories out of them. And I think that's what this YouTube channel is going to be about. We're going to like bring ordinary people like you and me out from the dark, and then like provide a platform for them to like briefly tell their story, and then and then have others reach out to them, and then have an impact in some way or the other. Yeah, I
Right. So
think
just to
I think
add, Raghav, I'll add one more thing. So just as we spoke about what we are trying to do with the startup club, what sort of videos we'll be doing, and what sort of community we are trying to build. I think we also should address, like, for whom this is, right? So you
yeah,
can also add your points there. So for me, what I think is, for anybody who's interested in growing yourself, who's trying to come up with a startup idea, who's trying to launch your own business, or who's trying to, maybe you're a working professional right now, or you're a student right now, but you have an idea, you're thinking, how I progress from this idea stage to actually move forward.
yeah,
So basically, any startup enthusiasts or existing business owners, existing people who are already having a running startup. So I think, and probably we'll have investors, we'll have other stakeholders who are coming in from different walks of the startup ecosystem.
yeah,
So I think, for anybody in that ecosystem, this will be a great platform to follow us, to get more insights on
yeah.
how we are building this as a community and take value. Yeah.
Sure. I think just to add to that, I think there are first things is like we have our own website. It's the startupclub.info. It's a fairly easy one to remember. So if you go there, you can find links to our meetup, our Telegram group, our YouTube channel, and also we have a specific link to express your interest in getting interviewed. If you want to appear on this YouTube channel, and if you want us to interview you, and then have a platform for you to like announce your product or like showcase your product or something like that, you can always get in touch with us through that get interviewed button, where you can fill out your details, and then we'll contact you and then get you onboarded.
Right.
And then our Telegram group is going to be mainly for our chat, right? Like we're going to use that for communicating um, different things. And like to touch on like who this is for. I think that this is going to be mainly for literally anybody who's involved in the industry in some way or the other. As in, like, who's interested in being a startup entrepreneur themselves, or they're already one. Maybe they're like experts. They have like five different startups which are already successful or something like that. Or they could be somebody who's targeting startup owners or founders, to give them product or something. So maybe they are interested in getting access to a community of like entrepreneurs to market their products to. It can be anybody related to the scene, and then it, as long as you're able to contribute something to everybody else, you're welcome to be part of our club, be part of the community and contribute. So it's really that straightforward. And I think we've really touched on all the things that we wanted to touch on in this video. I don't want to like keep this for too long. If you have any closing comments, then we can close it. And
Yeah, so I just tried, scanning the QR code that is in the background. So that links to
yeah,
our Telegram group. So people who are watching this, who
yeah,
want to be a part of a community, can go ahead and scan the QR code here. And as we said, the startupclub.info is the website where you can go and find more details about the startup club, and you can join and be a part of our community. Again, we welcome people who are interested to learn from each other and also share value. uh, we would love to have more members in our community. So with that note,
yeah,
I think we are just in the initial steps of a big vision that we have. But then we do it right, and as we see more people joining in, this is community is going to be the strength of such an idea, right?
yeah,
So with that, I hope we are going to be moving forward. We're going to be visiting with a lot many people, and we're going to be having
mm,
very frequent lot more sessions in the forthcoming weeks. All right,
yeah,
Raj. So
absolutely.
that's from me. So I think then if you have like something to share, we can share, and then we can wrap the session.
Yeah, and I think that's just what you said. Like you can join our Telegram group for more like instant communication, and you can also go to there you can know about our events and things like that we're going to organize. We'll be organizing some workshops or like some kind of guest speakers. We'll invite guest speakers to talk about specific topics and industries. So there's going to be a lot of exciting things, and also you can also contribute by sharing your ideas as to what we can do to add value to your time with us. So all these things are completely open, and we're doing this, like we said, in a very transparent way. One of the reasons for us making this video is to be transparent about where we stand and what we are looking forward to do. And we invite you to join us in being a part of this. So I think that's really all, and we can close here, I think.
Yeah.
yeah,
Done, Raghav.
really
Thank you
looking
so
forward
much
to
for your
seeing
time.
where this goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks
Ajay.
again. Thanks again for your
All right.
time. It was lovely meeting you. And
Yeah.
we'll keep doing a lot more sessions. And I'm really
Yeah.
enthusiastic about doing this forward and seeing how the community is going to unfold.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
Ajay.
then. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching the video. We'll see you soon. Bye.